hear me now? Is that better? Can you hear me? It is working. Right, you clear? I'm pressing the button. It's all about yes or no. Intermittent. It's going on and off. Can you hear me now? It is on now. Right, am I able to be heard? Hello. It is on. Right, I will keep holding the button then. That's all I can do. So, right, okay. Hello and good evening to you all. Thank you very much for your patience. I am absolutely useless with technology, but I will try and endeavor to speak with you for a few minutes. And just to update you, thank you very much for your kind support during my 7 months in France as an unpaid carer. You know, it was a very tough time. I have come back. I've had a few days of rest and recovery. My friends are telling me that I need to rest because I was utterly worn out. I understand now how difficult it is for someone to have to do this full time. It is a terrible thing to have to do. And, you know, the poor lady is not in good health and her daughter is with her. Hopefully that will be good for her, though um, she has phoned me to speak to the contrary. But anyway, I'm back in London briefly, and I'm getting a little bit of rest and a little bit of recovery. And it's very nice to see old friends, to do things I used to be able to do, to actually go out and have a peaceful time without having to worry about something. And as regards the poor lady, you know, it's a very, very sad state of affairs. Who knows? I may have to go back. Who knows what will happen? But for now, she does have her daughter with her. So, you know, she is getting a bit of a break from me also. So that is a good thing. And thank you very, very much for all your kindness during that period. Thank you to the people who sent me books and gin and mini cheddars, and to my wonderful friend Jonathan, who sent 1,000 Yorkshire tea bags. The neighbours were utterly delighted when I left them all on their doorsteps a bag of Yorkshire tea. I've had so many messages from French people and German people and Luxembourg people saying they are converts to Yorkshire tea. So Yorkshire tea, like tea used to be. So that is good. And you know, there's lots to report. My wonderful friend Andrew Lowney has just serialized his book about the fall of the House of York, the rise and fall of the House of York. It's called Entitled. It's being serialized in the Daily Mail. I had a great lunch with him. We talked about future projects. His book will be coming out on the 14th of August, and I will be going to the party, and I will be reviewing it and I'll be talking about it on here. Obviously, for now, read the Mail online or the Daily Mail, however you take your Daily Mail, if you do. And you can learn all about the grim, grubby nature of the dreadful Fergie and the Randy Andy. So there we are. You know, it's just come on Radio 4 that Bill and Hillary are going to be deposed in regard to Epstein. Hardly surprising. So should be Donald Trump. So should be plenty of others. Leslie Wexner, you know, the rest of them. Kevin Spacey. Let's be having all of them deposed. The whole lot of them. Drag the lot of them through the mire. They are all shameless people, and they all happily took the man's hospitality. You know, some of them are obviously very, very innocent of doing anything. But, you know, Bill Clinton was pictured having a massage, and Donald Trump was pictured and interviewed about, you know, parties with Epstein and the things that went on, and he was pictured with Ghislaine, as was Clinton. So they're both as bad as one another, absolutely all. So can you hear me, Maria? You're the only one whose computer says no to sound. Okay, well, I hope you can hear me now. There we are. Just having a little picnic tumbler of wine, my first glass of wine of the day, in fact. Um, yes, you can hear me. So I'm very sorry to Maria because I can't do anything more about it. I'm speaking as loud as and as clear as I possibly can. Um, Obviously, I'm going to have to come up with a better solution than sitting here holding a microphone with a plus button with my thumb firmly against it. But there we go. So thank you very, very much to all of you for tuning in, and welcome back to listening to me rambling and ranting on about different things. I will work out a way of doing this in a better setting where perhaps the internet connection is stronger or the sound works better. I've got to figure that out, but there we go. But anyway, Mr. Lee Kicker claims to be proper drunk. Well, you're more drunk than I am because all I've had today is Yorkshire tea and lots of it because I've been busy writing these quizzes. I'm up to quiz 125. I think your last quiz was quiz 116. So I've got quite a few of them for you when we're ready to go. Was Obama on the island? Asks Expialidocious. As far as I'm aware, Obama and Trump never visited the island. Bill Clinton most definitely did visit the island. So, of the world leaders who did visit, and of course, Britain's ambassador to Washington, Peter Mandelson, definitely visited the island and spent time on other islands and in Paris and in New York and calling him in prison Peter Mandelson, the Prince of Darkness. Absolutely awful, absolutely appalling man. An embarrassment, and shame on Keir Starmer, the farmer harmer, for appointing such a piece of dreg of society to be His Majesty's ambassador to the United States of America. There couldn't be a worse person, and photographed with Jeffrey Epstein too. So let's have him deposed also. Let's have Peter Mandelson deposed. Peter Mandelson, who was happy to introduce Jess Staley and all sorts of others and all sorts of interesting deals. No wonder Prince Peter Mandelson is able to afford expensive watches and expensive clothes and expensive houses. Of course, he doesn't have to pay for his residence in Washington. And he will get a nice little addition to whatever his existing title. God only knows what Keir Starmer, the farmer harmer, will reward him with at the end of his tenure. He will be there for some time, unfortunately. But Peter Mandelson is a dreadful person. I can't repeat what Paulie says because I cannot prove it. But allegations are out there about Peter Mandelson's activities prior to his marriage. All sorts of strange things went on with Peter Mandelson, just as they do with many politicians. I'm not saying Peter Mandelson is guilty of anything. He has never been found guilty in any criminal court, but he is certainly guilty of hanging around with Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Maxwell, and Ghislaine Maxwell. For starters, what a great choice. And of course, he had his little deals with the Hinduja brothers, obviously Jeffrey Robertson. There are all sorts of scandals that come back to Peter Mandelson. So why did Keir Starmer appoint such a person to be an ambassador? That is a definite question, and the jury is definitely still out as to what he's achieving. As for him posing in an Aston Martin for a picture, okay, he's promoting a British company, a British-based company, a British company that manufactures in Britain, not necessarily British-controlled, and it all looks very nice. But to the ordinary man in the street in Britain, do we want to see Peter Mandelson in an Aston Martin? He doesn't exactly fit the demographic, and he rather lowers the tone of the brand anyway. But not a very good look, really, for somebody at this time when ordinary people, are suffering and cannot afford to pay their bills because, Keir Starmer is attacking the pensioner, he's attacking the farmer, he attacks everybody. He's got rid of the rich people, the non-doms, wrecking driving them out. The property market in London is collapsing, at the top end. You might not feel sorry for such people, but, there are ordinary people, in London, houses are expensive, who, they've seen their house go from, 1.7 million, which may sound a lot, but in central London, it's not a lot, to say 1.4 million. And they may have paid the 1.7 million. Now they can't get rid of it. It's the same in Los Angeles, the stupidity of what's going on there. You hear about everything is collapsing there. It is a total mess, but in London, we have the dreadful Sadiq Khan, the worst mayor on the planet, an absolute piece of toe rag. He goes around in a £300,000 armoured Range Rover whilst forcing everybody to go on overpriced public transport. The prices keeps going up and up, overpriced taxis, however people choose to get around, forcing people into those stupid bloody bike lanes. Those stupid Boris bikes were a total idiot idea. And as for those pavement scooters, they should be banned, banned, and banned again. People are dying on those things. They are dangerous. They are not to be trusted, and it's an absolute shame. No wonder some are moving to Portugal, says Maria. Well, a lot of people are going to Italy, rich people particularly, and a lot of people have gone to Dubai. I spoke about that on my friend Rex Leyland's radio show on Talk Radio Europe a couple of months ago. He was talking about Dubai, and I did bring up Italy because Italy is a place that lots of people are choosing to go. They are choosing to quit. Americans are also quitting and going to there. You know, this $1 million listing man, Frederick Eklund, has bought a monastery in Italy, and you know, lots of people like that dreadful Ellen DeGeneres have moved to the Cotswolds because she wanted to escape Trump. But she's ridiculous, and she's already trying to sell a house she bought a year ago for £30 million, which is ridiculous. The house is a silly little farmhouse, and she's badly decorated it. No thanks. She is a complete pest, and quite frankly, if I lived in the Cotswolds, I'd sell up. And I believe Donna Eyre is selling up for £3 million. So maybe she doesn't want Ellen DeGeneres as a neighbour. I haven't seen Donna in quite a while. Donna Eyre of Biker Grove fame. Also, the lady who asked the cause, where did you all meet? But Donna is actually a very lovely lady and very, very pleasant. But there we are. So anyway, before I go, have any of you any questions? Any questions would be welcome. I will come back as soon as I can and work out how I get the microphone to work without having to hold it. You know, it is kind of ridiculous that I have to sit here with my thumb on this button because my thumb is starting to get, you know, worn out by this. I can't sit here like this forever. But you claim that this is the way to make it work. I'm trying to see, there is a thing on the bottom of the screen telling me how strong the microphone is, and it doesn't seem to be that strong. Have I stocked up on mini cheddars? I have got some mini cheddars. They're not in front of me, otherwise I'd wave the packet around. I do love a mini cheddar, and I was lucky to be sent some before I left France. Thank you very much to the lady who sent them. I have got her name and address, and I will be writing her a thank you card. Just haven't had chance to do anything because I've been resting, and I've been urged to rest. And quite frankly, I've had quite a lot of sleep. I've made up for a lot of. I've had more sleep than I have had in months. And I've also been able to go for long walks, which is something I haven't done in months. It's very, very good to get exercise. And unfortunately, the lady down there, Min, refused to do exercise, and that was a big problem. Sadly, she is not well, Audrey. It is not a good state of affairs, and the daughter is there. I've had her phone call with her, and things are a little fraught, to say the least. But I can't do anything for the moment, and it is better that she has her daughter with her for a while and her grandchildren, and it is a good thing. So hopefully that is a positive, and hopefully all of you are having a wonderful summer and wherever you are in the world. No more seagulls, no. Here where I'm staying in London, the garden next to me around about 3 or 4 in the morning has foxes fighting. I have got a little video of one fox. It's only a very short video and a short photo and a little photograph. I will put it up on here, in fact, later, if I can work out how to do that. My telephone device is working very well, but my computer systems and microphones certainly not, and lighting definitely not. So it's good that I've managed to do this at this time of day because this kind of works. So for now, this is a good place to sit, but I've somehow got to make the microphone work better. Right. Good to see my latest Sean Atwood interview. You were glued, says Maria. That was quite a while ago. He has asked me, Ron, to do another one, but I was unable to do it on the day in question. Maybe another day soon, perhaps. And I have been asked to do some other podcasts and various things. Obviously, I won't be able to do them unless I get the sound working. So that is an issue, and I've somehow got to get over it. But there we are. Anyway, so let me see if any of you have any questions. Here we are, 15 minutes into this short broadcast. It's a shorter one. Will I be staying here in London? I'm here for a couple of weeks, maybe. Then I will be perhaps going to visit various places in the United Kingdom and possibly elsewhere. It is perhaps time. When is the next quiz? I was planning on doing a quiz with you when I next do a broadcast, when I've got the sound working. So I perhaps won't do the quiz today because this is not really going to work. There's only 79 people here, so it's probably not ideal. And I have my hand on this microphone, so I can't do the scoring. And I've got to keep my hand on the button because otherwise you won't be able to hear me. So I don't think I can do that. I'm currently staying in southwest London. I won't give away the location because it's not my house. So, but I am staying in southwest London, and I'm visiting my favourite bar, PJ's Fulham Road, where we will be having a dinner in September. I've got to announce a date, but I'm hoping to do a dinner with Andrew Lowney about the book entitled about the fall of the House of York and the rise of the House of York and the fall. The book is being serialized, as I've already said. And I'm hoping to do another dinner with Stephen Burkoff, the actor, if he's available, because we were meant to do that in February. And of course, that was delayed by my travels. So there will be potentially 2 dinners where you can all come along and have a wonderful meal in PJ's and ask questions and witness me, study on me, being doing an interview with each of the participants. So it would be great for you to come along, and you will all be able to, if you please, at editorial@thesteepletimes.com, if you would like to send an email with your details or your indication of interest in attending such a dinner, then we can add you to our list to send you an email inviting you to such a dinner. So that would be something I could try and do at a future point. If you could please, at editorial@thesteepletimes.com, I will put this in the what do you call it, the description box after I've finished, because I probably should have put that in. And if you could please sign my petition about the sloths on change.org, if you have not already. We're over 2,700 signatures on that. I want to get that to 5,000 signatures as soon as possible. It's jolly well time somebody listened, and somebody in government, and especially Keir Harmer, as I call him, Keir Starmer, Farmer Harmer. Keir off is another good name for him. But he won't be going anywhere. Unfortunately, he is such a majority, arrogant man. The only good thing about him is his wife. At least she likes horse racing. So that's the only positive in him. But gone very quiet on those 3 Ukrainians who started the fire. Who we didn't start the fire. We meant to put it out and all of that. We will see. So there we go. We're at that front on that matter. And, Angela Rayner's probably raving in Ibiza. And Rachel Reeves, probably the Queen of Thieves, is probably sitting in a counting house, not counting any money because she's made such a mess of the economy. She's absolutely useless, driving away rich people, harming the poor people, all the rest of it. Not a great chancellor, but, she's the one who'll get all the blame. So that's where we're up to that. Starmer and the Fun Boys, yep. God only knows what the real connection is there. Lots of theories online about that. lots of theories about Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine being moved to a new prison and all that, tucked away, which not many papers have reported on. Only American papers, is back on the market. If she sells it, the profit will be $1 million at that price. I'll talk about that in due course because nobody seems to be talking about it. Scott Bulgarison, where has he vanished to? The Mail picks up on my questions about him. I did a thing on Twitter. Please follow me on Twitter at M, or X as it's now called, at M_Steeples, STEEPLES, M_STEEPLES, and then you'll find out about much more there because until I get this sound problem fixed, it's a very good way of me communicating. Everything else doesn't seem to work. For me, I find Twitter or X the easiest way of communicating. I get a lot of abuse there about Lucy Letby from the Lucy Letby troll groups. It's ridiculous. I have not watched the ITV program. I don't want to watch the ITV program. I've heard enough. Let's remember the victims as families, the people who Lucy Letby, the evil baby slaughtering monster, slaughtered their children and killed them and then started writing them weird notes. And she also wrote weird notes about how evil she was. She has been convicted by a court of law, fair and square. She is a revolting woman, and shame on Nadine Dorries, shame on Peter Hitchens, shame on David Davies, shame on all the rest of them, and Lord Sumption and all the rest of them for stirring the pot and upsetting those families. Leslie S. says Lucy Letby is guilty. Absolutely, totally agree. And anyway, I've changed my thumb to a different one, so hopefully you can still hear me loud and clear. And yes, it's obviously a terrible thing that what Lucy Letby did, and she's hanging around supposedly with other revolting women in that prison. She is a very wicked woman, and like Myra Hindley, she should spend the rest of her life in jail. That is where she belongs, and all these do-gooders campaigning for her, they should put a sock in it and stop attacking those poor victims' families. They deserve to be left in peace. And all of these people coming out going, oh, isn't Lucy lovely? If she were not blonde and white and from a middle-class family, you would not be supporting her. If she came from somewhere else, I can tell you these people would not be jumping on this little bandwagon. They'd just forget about her and they would not be interested. They would condemn the woman for what she is. And that is how I feel about that. We're coming up to 23 minutes. I'll stop at half an hour because I do have to cook a dinner for the person I'm staying with and pour myself another glass of wine. But it's very, very nice to be chatting with you all. And I will try and come back and do a live broadcast at 7 o'clock as I normally do on a future occasion, maybe tomorrow or maybe the day after, if I can get this sound system to work properly, because it's very annoying to have to sit here like this holding on to this bloody button. But there we go. Right. Yes, right. Well, all sorts of bizarre comments coming in about bicycle pumps and women's prisons. The two aren't linked, but there we go. So thank you for your comments. Have you any more questions? I'll give you another 6 minutes to get some questions in, and then I shall go. Any questions on any topics? Any topics from the current news? I fortunately don't have the daily newspapers in front of me as paper versions, like I've had in France every day. I do miss that part of it very much. It's a very good way of actually studying, and it's been very helpful for my quiz writing. But it's been very pleasant to be able to watch Tales of the Unexpected again. I've had 7 months without television. I've still had the Radio 4, obviously, whilst I was there because I could get that. But I had this VPN system did not work. Again, technology and me, we don't mix. So will the new book finish Andrew, asks Amanda Roberts. It won't finish him, but it's doing him a lot of harm. Mr. Lowney has already had legal threats from Fergay's representatives or Fergay's backers, because she hasn't got a pot to whatever in, and also from Prince Harry, Prince Has-Been, and Megain about the little slap episode with him and Prince Andrew. And Mr. Lowney on his Twitter announced that he looks forward to anything because he'd like to highlight the fact that he spent a lot of time doing good work on this matter. So there we go. What was the first thing I did when I arrived in London? I was very lucky to be treated very, very well on my return. Obviously, the situation was difficult because of the 90-day rule, but with the help of doctors and others, I did have and the British Embassy, who were very, very helpful, and the French Prefecture and British Airways. I was treated extremely well on British Airways. From the desk onwards, there were lots of people there being very, very rude because their flights had been changed. And because I was polite and I wore a jacket and I was traveling, business, and they just said, "You're a priority, go straight through." And I didn't even need to show the letters. They were very, very helpful. They realized the situation I'd been through because it had all been in correspondence. And, we had no problem. And I was very lucky on the plane to sit with a Q80 family and all their entourage, and a wonderful Sikh gentleman who's become a good friend. And I took him on a tour of London the next day, and we had a lovely time. He's a car dealer of supercars to the likes of the Kardashians and classic cars also in Los Angeles. And I'm going to introduce him to some wonderful car people in London and elsewhere when he comes back. So I made a new friend on the plane, which was a delight. And it was wonderful to actually have a peaceful journey and to be well treated by British Airways. It was a good experience. And yes, back in London, the first things I did was see friends. It was a glory to see my old friends, and wonderful to go to PJ's on Fulham Road, a great place to go if you ever are in London, 52 Fulham Road. Wonderful drinks, wonderful staff, wonderful welcome, wonderful everything about it. So that was a great thing. And I've been to Fortnum & Mason, to 45 restaurant, had a lovely meal there with an old friend. And yes, I've seen another old friend who was in from Australia, who is in the process of launching a new vodka brand with Robert De Niro. He sold another vodka brand to Asahi Beer. I've seen other friends, and it's been a wonderful time. I've been writing my quiz. We're up to quiz 125 on the writing front. Meetings with the publisher underway, and hopefully there will be a quiz book by 2026. It's probably a little late for this year, so you'll all be able to test out my quiz on your friends. But there will be a book, probably 100 quizzes, so we'll have to revise some of the questions, given that many of the questions were a bit obscure for some people, but that's part of the bonus of the quiz. And the fact that I give a little description of weird and wacky things associated with the question was also liked by some of the publishers I've spoken with thus far. So, yes, what's the best bar in Fulham? I'm no expert on Fulham itself, but in Fulham, just near Fulham, there's a pub owned by James Blunt, the singer, called The Pheasant, I think it is. That's just next to Chelsea Football Club, which is in Fulham, just by the bridge. So that's a good pub you could try out if you want a pub in Fulham. The best bar in Fulham, I don't know the best bar in Fulham. I love the River Cafe, but that's in Hammersmith. It's very near to Fulham. There's a little cafe called the River Cafe, I suppose, next door. I haven't been to that yet, but I do love the River Cafe. Far better to go in the winter season because they do a set lunch. The set lunch is much cheaper and very good value compared to the very expensive main menu. But Ruth Rogers' restaurant is a glorious spot in Hammersmith. That's near Fulham. In Fulham itself, I can't really think of a bar. I don't really go to bars in Fulham. It's not for any reason. It's just I don't know of any. Fulham. People like the Sloaney Pony, the pub on the Parsons Green, which is next to Fulham, has all sorts of different beers. It's very, very popular in the summer, big outside area. I have been there a few times. And a place called the Aragon House, which is just on the other side of the green, is very popular as well. If you're a member, the Hurlingham Club is very, very popular. You can play tennis there and all sorts of other things. Nice to go there and have a picnic or whatever. But if you've got to be a member, so we'll go with a member. Right, sound is up and down. Right, well, I'm very sorry. Anyway, will Andrew and Fergie read the book? I'm sure their lawyers have read the book. Whether they have read the book, goodness only knows. Have I been in the Blind Beggar? No, I've been past what was the Blind Beggar, yes, but I haven't been inside it, no. I'm not really into the craze. They don't really interest me hugely. I did meet the Richardsons, well, one of them, Charlie Richardson, long, long ago with Stephen Burkoff at a play Mr. Burkoff was doing, and had a very pleasant conversation with him. I have met Mad Frankie Fraser, who is no longer alive. So there we are. Starmer is not allowed in any pubs or bars on Fulham, says Dance Up. I'm not sure if that's true. I'm sure there is one or two that would probably welcome him, but there we are. Anyway, I'm going to go now because they've reached over 30 minutes, and I think I thank you all for participating. It's been very, very kind of you to participate, and I very much hope to see you again in the coming days. I will put out alerts on the Twitter, and hope you will be able to see them. If you follow me at m_steeples, and you will be able to watch out for alerts if that is your medium of choice. Thank you, and I hope you all have a wonderful, glorious evening. I'm off to cook a nice dinner for somebody, and just to hope you all have, whatever things you're doing, have a wonderful time. Good gardening. Thank you very much. Have a glorious time. Thank you, and pip pip for now. Bye bye. Bye bye.